5 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭವಾಗಲಿದೆ. ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಸೂಚನೆ ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ತಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ.
ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕದ ಪರಿಚಯ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಆ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಮಾರಾಟಕ್ಕೆ ಲಭ್ಯ ಇದೆ. ಪುಸ್ತಕದ ಹೆಸರು ಹಿಂದುತ್ವ, ವರ್ತಮಾನದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂದುತ್ವದ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತೆ. ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಸಂಗಮ ಪ್ರಕಾಶನದಿಂದ ಪ್ರಕಟಣೆಗೊಂಡಿರುವ ಪುಸ್ತಕ. ಪ್ರಕಾಶಕರ ನುಡಿ ಹೀಗಿದೆ: ಹಿಂದುತ್ವ ಒಂದು ಜೀವನ ಪದ್ಧತಿಯ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಶ್ವದ ಪ್ರಾಚೀನ ಧರ್ಮ, ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿ ಮತ್ತು ನಾಗರಿಕತೆಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಇದು ಪುರಾತನವಾಗಿರುವ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಿತ್ಯ ನೂತನವೂ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಈ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದಾಗಿಯೇ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಾಲಾತೀತವಾಗಿರುವ ಸನಾತನ ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯಲಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಹಿಂದುತ್ವದ ವಿಶೇಷತೆ ಏನಂದರೆ, ತನ್ನ ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಶಾಶ್ವತ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತಗಳನ್ನು ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧ ಸ್ವರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಕಾಪಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕಾಲದ ಅಗತ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ತನ್ನ ಅಭಿವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ, ಶಬ್ದ ಭಂಡಾರ ಮತ್ತು ನಡವಳಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಅದು ಬದಲಾಯಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತದೆ. ಅನೇಕ ಘೋರ ದಾಳಿಗಳ ನಂತರವೂ ಅದು ಜೀವಂತವಾಗಿ ಉಳಿದಿರುವ, ಪ್ರಗತಿಯನ್ನು ಸಾಧಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ಹಾಗೂ ವಿಜಯ ಸನ್ನದ್ಧವಾಗಿರುವ ಹಿಂದಿನ ರಹಸ್ಯವೇ ಇದು. ಸನಾತನ ಧರ್ಮದ ಯುಗಾನುರೂಪ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆಯ ಯುಗಧರ್ಮವು ಭಾರತದ ಪರಂಪರೆಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಈ ಸಮಕಾಲೀನ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆಯನ್ನು ಪೂರೈಸಲು ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನು ಪ್ರಕಟಿಸಲಾಗುತ್ತಿದೆ. ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಸೇವಕ ಸಂಘದ ಪರಮ ಪೂಜನೀಯ ಸರಸಂಘ ಚಾಲಕರಾದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮೋಹನ್ ಭಾಗವತ್, ಹಿರಿಯ ಚಿಂತಕ ಹಾಗೂ ಅಖಿಲ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕಾರಿಣಿಯ ಸದಸ್ಯರಾದ ಶ್ರೀ ಸುರೇಶ್ ಸೋನಿ ಮತ್ತು ಸಂಘದ ಸಹಸರ ಕಾರ್ಯವಾಹರಾದ ಶ್ರೀ ಅರುಣ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು ಈ ವಿಷಯದ ಕುರಿತು ನೀಡಿರುವ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಗಳನ್ನು ಅಕ್ಷರ ರೂಪಕ್ಕೆ ಇಳಿಸಿ ಸಂಪಾದಿಸಿ ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಕಟಿಸಲಾಗುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನು ಕೊಂಡುಕೊಳ್ಳುವವರು ಈ ವೇದಿಕೆಯ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಲಭ್ಯವಿದೆ ಮಾರಾಟಕ್ಕೆ. ಬೇಕಾದವರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಚಾರಿಸಿ ಖರೀದಿಸ್ಬೋದು.
Good evening to every one of you. Before we start, I just want to mention about a Sanskrit saying which goes this way: Amantram aksharam nasti, nasti moola manaushadham, ayogyo purusha nasti, yojakattastra durlabha. The meaning of this is, there is no letter which cannot actually be part of a poem or a great literature. There is no herb or the plant which cannot be part of the medicine. No human being in the world actually is an ayogya who's useless. However, to bring all this transformation, you need a leader, you need a personality who can actually bring all this transformation into a reality. So we are very, very privileged to have such a wonderful personality amidst us today, Dr. RAMMADHAV. Before I introduce him and also VIKRAM MUTTANNA ji, I just want to take few minutes to talk about Manthana, which is actually the forum that is responsible for organizing this event with the support of Jagannatha Trust. Manthana in 1987, it is a social forum that was established by Upendra Shanai. This forum was formed with an intention to think, discuss, publicize the topics of national interest. The forum has been organizing a lot of events and making the Indians to think, collect opinions, and arrive at decisions that uphold the interest of Mother India. These events are aimed at bringing Indians together and enthuse them to think and act for the nation. And this forum is very active in all the districts of our state. Manthana has established contacts with responsible citizens since last 1 decade and is organizing discussions, deliberations, lectures on topics of national interest. In Mysuru, Manthana has established contact with many Mysoreans, and for its program, Manthana has involved very well-known personalities such as Sri Prakash Belwadi, J. Sai Deepak, Sudeep Balakrishna, Professor Nandan Prabhu, Dr. Rammadhav, who is here today, Sri Rohit Chakratirtha, Padma Shri Manjamma Jogati, Srimati Harsha Bhatt, retired IPS officer M.N. Krishnamurthy, retired IAS officer M. Madan Gopal, Jakkala Girish Bhatt, Sudhakar Hosalli, Dr. Harish GB, and so many such wonderful personalities. These well-known personalities have come together to various programs that are organized by Manthana and shared their knowledge with the august audience. Today in our program, we have with us Dr. RAMMADHAV, who will share his views about RSS100. On the occasion of successful completion of Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh, he is going to share his views, and to have a discussion, meaningful discussion, we have Vikram Muttanna ji, who is going to be part of this discussion. So on this occasion, on behalf of all of you, I welcome both the dignitaries on the dais. It's so difficult to stand in front of a huge mountain and then try to introduce the height of the mountain, but still I will actually make a sincere attempt to introduce, today, to all of us, Dr. RAMMADHAV. Here is a brief parichaya of him. He is a well-known author and a thinker, and currently serving as the president of India Foundation, which is internationally acclaimed think tank in New Delhi. Dr. RAMMADHAV has earlier served as the National General Secretary of Bharatiya Janata Party and also has served as a member of National Executive of Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. Dr. RAMMADHAV hails from Andhra Pradesh, and after his collegiate education, he became Sangh Pracharak in the year 1981. He held various responsibilities in RSS at the national level. From 2014 to 2020, Sri RAMMADHAV had served as the National Secretary of the Bharatiya Janata Party. He was in charge of Jammu and Kashmir, northeastern states including Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura, Manipur, Meghalaya, and Sikkim. He was successful in establishing state governments in 7 such states. He is also known for socio-political diplomacy across the nation. In August 2024, Dr. RAMMADHAV is given the responsibility of Jammu Kashmir election of the Bharatiya Janata Party. A renowned author and a thinker, RAMMADHAV has over 700 publications to his credit. He has authored several books in English and Telugu. The book on China, Uneasy Neighbors, Partitioned Freedom, The Hindutva Paradigm, Integral Humanism, and Quest for a Non-Western Worldview, Our Constitution, Our Pride, are to name a few of his books. His latest book on New World 21st Century Global Order and India was widely discussed by the geopolitical experts at various forums in several countries. He is a regular contributor on platforms like Indian Express, Hindustan Times, Organizer, Open Magazine, amongst others. Widely regarded for his contribution in the field of strategic thinking, political philosophy, and India's foreign policy, Sri RAMMADHAV has traveled widely and addressed several international fora. His weekly column, Ram Raj, on each Saturday in Indian Express has received wide attention and appreciation amongst intellectuals. It's indeed a great honor and privilege for all of us to have you here today, sir. Thanks for coming here. So along with us, to actually get into the discussion, we have another very well-known personality of Mysuru, Vikram Muttanna. He is the chairman and managing director of Academy Newspapers Private Limited, which is the publisher of Star of Mysuru, the city's iconic evening daily, and Mysuru Mitra, which is a leading morning newspaper. A graduate of Maharaja's College, Mysuru, with a degree in journalism, Vikram began his career with Indian Express in Bangalore and later in Chennai. After the stint in the newsroom, he moved to United States where he completed his master's in information science and taught at universities and worked as a network analyst and a hospital with the Hospital Corporation of America in Texas. He returned to India in the year 2005 to join Star of Mysuru, where he continues the paper's 4-decade legacy of fearless local journalism. His Saturday column, Black and White, is widely read for its sharp insight with and candor on contemporary issues and everyday's life. So once again, sir, very happy to have you here on this occasion. So to mark the occasion, to mark this auspicious occasion and a wonderful event, I request both of you to kindly light the lamp. I request Vasudev Bhattji, who is the president of Jana Jagarana Trust, to also accompany the chief guest and then do the honors. I request Sindhu to actually do the prayers.
Gajavadana Paliso Gauri Tanaya Gajavadana Paliso Gajavadana Paliso Gauri Tanaya Gajavadana Paliso Gajavadana Paliso Trijagavanditane Bhujagabhushana Trijagavanditane Bhujagabhushana Gajavadana Paliso Gauri Tanaya Gajavadana Paliso Gajavadana Paliso Bhaktiyol bajibena Raktambaradhara Bhaktiyol bajibena Raktambaradhara Bhaktiyol bajibena Raktambaradhara Mukti Pathava Toro Shakti Swarupane Gajavadana Paliso Yesudinake Ninna Pashava Pogaluve Lesa Paliso Nitya Vasavanutane Podaviyolage Ninna ಬಿಡುವರ್ಯಾರೋ ಘನ್ನ ಪೊಡವಿಯೊಳಗೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಬಿಡುವರ್ಯಾರೋ ಘನ್ನ ಕಡು ಹರುಷದಿ ಕಾಯೋ ವಿಜಯ ವಿಠಲದಾಸ ಗಜವದನ ಪಾಲಿಸೋ ಗೌರಿ ತನಯ ಗಜವದನ ಪಾಲಿಸೋ Oh, Gajavadana Paliso. Thank you.
Thank you, Sindhu. Before we get into the main event, I take this opportunity to welcome all of you, the Mysoreans, the responsible Mysoreans who have gathered here. Today we have the representatives of Mysuru citizens. Sri Vatsa sir is here. We have got many of the well-known personalities of Mysuru being part of today's program. So, you know, I welcome all of you to this wonderful event. I request now RAMMADHAV for the opening remarks, and after that, I request Vikram Muttanna to take over the proceedings and initiate the discussions. All yours, sir. Thank you so much.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. My Kannada begins and ends there, please. I'm Really delighted to be back in this city after about a gap of about a year. And I would like to thank the organizers, Manthana, for hosting this wonderful evening event. I am so glad that I am able to see so many important, the word used was Mysoreans here in the audience. Let me also welcome all of you. The organizers thought was that I will probably speak a little bit in the beginning, briefly giving you some idea about the organization which I represent, namely the RSS. And we have a wonderful host here, Mr. Vikram, a very learned and knowledgeable gentleman running a very famous newspaper here. And I will be at his mercy for some time and afterwards at your mercy. That was the plan of the organizers. The RSS is a little difficult to understand, but very easy to misunderstand. So it is no surprise that people many times get certain misconceptions about the RSS. What I would like to do is not to try and attempt at correcting the understanding or misperception about the organization, but rather give you a broad idea about what it is all about. The reason being, my introduction in that it was mentioned that I have been a pracharak for more than 4 decades now. I spent all my life in this organization. I have seen this organization's evolution, at least from, I would say, early 1970s to today. I became the organization's spokesperson at a very early age, a very tender age, as its spokesperson in 2001. I was just 35, 36 years old. So many journalists used to ask me, how come RSS chose such a young person to be its national voice? Because RSS generally the understanding used to be that it is a geriatric organization. You should be a grey-haired person to be recognized as an RSS leader. But there is another misconception about it. But why I brought up that subject was, one very senior journalist, very renowned journalist who is active even today, I don't want to mention, I name him obviously, he interviewed me for his show, for his TV show. The interview was over. Afterwards we sat for a cup of tea, generally chit-chatting. He said something interesting. He said, see, Ms. Madhav, throughout my career as a journalist, I always believed that you are a very dangerous force in this country. You are a threat to India, or India's secularism, whatever. I mean, India's national identity, unity, and all that. And I also used to believe that you will be a fringe force. But look at me today. I am interviewing you for 30 minutes. I am, through my channel, I am propagating your ideology to the whole nation. You see, you have become the mainstream of the country. This is what he said. I mean, which we used to assume will always remain a fringe force, is today the mainstream of the country. Today, as we talk, this RSS-inspired thought process occupies the national center stage. It's all the more important to understand how it has reached here, which was assumed to be a fringe force. I would like to place a few facts before you, because there is no other organization which has survived for 100 years. There will be maybe a couple of them, like, Red Cross survived for 160 years. But Red Cross always survived on the patronage of different governments of the world. But here is an organization which never had governmental patronage in the majority of its journey, years of its journey, yet survived. not just survived. Some organizations survive, but they survive in buildings. The organizations won't be there, but buildings will be there. But here is an organization probably has less buildings, but more organizational presence. At 100 also it is growing. Today, one of the organizations that has highest number of young members, it is RSS. How is it possible that an organization which endured so much of different types of opposition could finally reach to a stage where it becomes not only the mainstream organization, mainstream thought of the country, but also probably ever growing? When I say about opposition also, please remember, the opposition, you think that probably some politician in Karnataka who wants to become the deputy chief minister, whatever, he is doing it. No. RSS whole journey, right from 1925 it began, to today, has endured so many such kinds of challenges, opposition. In the early days, the founder of RSS, Dr. Hedgewar, used to be tailed by the British intelligence fellows, British agents. They were suspicious of his activity. Why is he creating this kind of a young brigade? He used to collect youngsters. He used to encourage them to go to, Vyayam Shalas, gymnasiums, build a strong body, and come together and have some discussions about country, our dharma, our religion. And all. So they were very suspicious. Why is this fellow doing all this? So he was also a Congress leader of Nagpur, central India. So he used to be tailed by them. Some people initially who got attracted with Hedgewar's activism joined him, supported him, like Dr. Munje. He was one of the very tall Hindu Mahasabha leaders of central India those days. He initially joined hands with Dr. Hedgewar. But later he thought that Hedgewar is creating a band which is not going to help me in my politics. So in early 30s, he parted ways. Even Swatantra Veera Savarkar, who always thought that his thoughts, his ideas are probably, he had an ideology called Hindutva. He authored a book also in 1923 with the title. So the RSS would probably be supporting his ideology. That was his whole idea. But when RSS decided to grow on its own as an independent, not even an organization, an independent movement, even Savarkar at one point thought, this is not going to really help us. So he even said, that famous statement by Savarkar, that you are born as an RSS man, you die as an RSS man. In between, you do nothing. So that kind of situation also RSS endured. Then came independence. A section of the Congress leadership thought, no, this is not supporting me politically, so we should crush it. Nehru, for well-known reasons, he decided, I should ensure that RSS should be suppressed. So he used that Gandhi murder as an excuse to put the blame on RSS and try to ban it. But then neither courts can prove it, nor investigating agencies can prove that there is anything that RSS had got to do with Nehru's murder. So that ban had to be lifted. It's another matter. Same Nehru, in 1962, saw the RSS members actively supporting the entire governmental establishment, including military, police, everybody, during that 20-day India-China war. And he was impressed. And when this proposal came that the RSS should be invited to take part in the Republic Day parade in 1963 on the Rajpath along with the Indian Armed Forces, Nehru did not oppose it. Nehru said, okay, go ahead. So the RSS has endured opposition from different people. Communists have remained lifetime opponents of RSS. Socialists have been lifetime opponents of RSS. From one of the greatest socialist leaders who also remained a very loyal Gandhian, Jayaprakash Narayan. Jayaprakash Narayan in 1948 gave speeches motivating Congress youngsters to go and attack RSS because he also believed in that propaganda that RSS was behind Gandhi's murder. But in fast forward by 3 decades, in 1970s, he openly in RSS rallies came and said, I have full faith in you. You are the future of this country. So the journey of RSS 100 years has been a roller coaster journey. It's true that there were occasions when RSS members joined the government, they became a part of the government. Then there was some, conducive atmosphere. But I must tell you, the RSS grew well and faster during adversity. It had to be very cautious during periods of greater, conducivity. The journey of RSS is for 100 years has been of this nature. It faced a lot of challenges, yet it grew. Had it been any other organization in history, I can say it would not have survived. That is the kind of opposition it had to endure. The might of entire government, whether it was British in the earlier days, when the organization was at a very nascent stage, very small organization, to the Congress, the all-powerful Congress of Independence, or to the left parties which used to have very strong, violent presence in states like Kerala and Bengal. The RSS withstood that. It grew. Reason is very simple. I just want to place that main reason why RSS remains relevant forever in 2-3 important points, and then probably we can have more conversation in the form of a discussion. Number one, when RSS started its journey in 1925, the founder of the RSS, Dr. Hedgewar, he was very clear in his mind about two things. One was that I am not creating any organization. Today many people ask, why are you not a registered organization? First of all, we are not an organization. So where is the question of registered organization? The idea was not to create another organization in the country, but to try and create greater organization of the whole country. Creating one organization within the society against creating the organization of the entire society. So Hedgewar was clear that no effort to create a separate organization in the country. We only have to motivate people, bring them together, encourage them, motivate them to work for the country. First thing. Second, he was very clear. I am not going to propound any new ideology. That this is the RSS ideology. In fact, recently we published a book, From Shaka to Nation. It contains 30 important speeches of RSS leaders in the last 100 years. There will be hundreds of speeches, but we picked up some 30 important speeches. In that we have 2 speeches by Dr. Hedgewar also. Very rare to get, but we managed to get them. In those speeches, it becomes very clear. He says that, look, we just have to inspire our people about the great Hindu culture, tradition, value system. We have to encourage them to live like good Hindus. That is the only mission. There is no need for any new ideology. In fact, the second chief of RSS, Golwalkar Guruji, was asked by some colleagues, some journalists once about, can you suggest us some books about your ideology, RSS ideology? Golwalkar said, yes, I can suggest. Why one? Many. 4 Vedas, Ramayana and Mahabharata, all Upanishads, all Puranas. That is our ideology. That great wisdom that has been handed down to this society from generations, from millennia, is what we should rekindle in the society. That is the RSS mission. So RSS is neither a prisoner of any exclusive ideology. Forget about exclusivist ideology. Also, it is never a sort of a group within the society. It kept its activity open. Anybody can walk in. And RSS has these shakhas. Shakhas are held in open places. Now, it's another matter. Your government wants RSS to not have shakhas openly and have secretly. Yeah, you should be happy to have them in open places so that you can jasusi on them, spy on them if you want. Who are all going? Which government employee is going? You can see. We are not afraid. We kept our activity open. Anybody can walk into RSS. So not creating any separate organization, you have to have a membership, then there is an election. No, it's an open organization. Secondly, we have not kept ourselves prisoners of any closed ideology. Ideologies are all closed thoughts, whether it is communism or it is any other ideology. But here is an organization which is wedded not to an ideology but to an idealism. There is a lot of difference between ideology and idealism. Idealism inspired by the wisdom of our great country, great ancestors, great gurus, great spiritual leaders. That kept this organization going. And you see the journey of this organization in the last 100 years. Some people take this word Hindutva for the ideology of RSS. Let me clarify, because I have edited that volume, which I mentioned just now, Shaka to Nation, the great speeches of the RSS leaders in the last 100 years. I haven't come across this word Hindutva even once in the first 50 years of those speeches. It used to be mentioned only in the context of Savarkar's book. Even today, many people get confused with that Savarkar's book, Hindutva, with the RSS ideology of Hindutva. We are not against what Savarkar had thought about Hinduism, Hindutva and all that. He had a very profound understanding of the society, and he articulated that idea in the form of that book, Hindutva. One may say Savarkar's Hindutva was an ideological presentation, because in that he starts with Sanskrit sloka. Asindhu Sindhu Paryanta Yasya Bharata Bhumika Pitrubhu Punyabhuschaiva Savai Hindu Riti Smriti. He tried to define who is a Hindu. He says from Sindhu to Himalayas, from south to north. In this vast country of Bharat, he uses the word Bharat. Those who consider this vast country as Pitru Bhumi and Punya Bhumi are Hindus. Now, one may say Punya Bhumi, all right. But why Pitru Bhumi? Because generally we say Bharat, Bharat Mata. Even I know Karnataka, Kannada Mata. Our bond with our country is in the form of a mother. When Savarkar used the expression Pitru Bhumi, he was not talking about the fatherland, as the Soviets used to say. Lenin used to say it's our fatherland. What Savarkar meant by Pitru Bhumi was the land of our ancestors. So he tried to give some definition to it, and then he articulated certain things in that. RSS has great respect for it, but not as an ideology. So the first and foremost thing is that RSS has always remained an open platform for all good people. That is the secret of its continuous growth. If there is any one, you see, Desh Bhakti, patriotism, is not the monopoly of any one organization. Being an RSS man, I will say this. Those who are in RSS are patriots, others are not. It's a very wrong understanding. None in RSS believes in that. On the contrary, Desha Bhakti, love for the country, is a very fundamental characteristic of almost all of us, all Indians, because that is how our culture has been. What was Ramayana's greatest message? Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargadap Gariyasi. This is the greatest message of Ramayana, which we imbibe irrespective of whether you go to RSS or not go to RSS. Patriotism is the fundamental core virtue of every Indian. But What RSS tries to do is to keep patriotism or love for the country a 24/7 activity. Unfortunately, what happens is, mostly patriotism in us is a part-time patriotism. Meaning, if there is a big fire accident in Mysuru, a lot of us will come forward and, a lot of contributions will be made and all that. There is a flood in somewhere in maybe some other part of the state or in the country. You come forward, you donate food, you donate other things. Or there is a big accident, train accident, you go to the rescue. For our patriotism to be awakened, there has to be an accident, there has to be a fire accident, there has to be flood, then you are a patriot. What RSS tried to do was that, no, you have to be a patriot 24/7. You have to be having love for the society, country throughout, all the time. That is Hindutva. That is the message of our dharma, our society, our religion. So, RSS has always tried to only promote this idea. And if you see the journey of RSS, sometimes people say, you are anti-constitution. One of the first campaigns that RSS members directly undertook in 1950s was Goraksha. And you know what was Goraksha? It is one of the directive principles of our constitution. We took up something that the government or the country proclaimed as something that we have to achieve in this country, a directive principle for state policy. Because states were not supporting that directive principle, the RSS had to undertake a major campaign for Goraksha in 1950s. Eradication of caste differences, eradication of untouchability was one of the major objectives of people like Gandhi, Ambedkar. Reforming Hinduism was Ambedkar's major campaign. In fact, Ambedkar in one speech says, you see, this was in Constituent Assembly. He says, unless you reform Hinduism, there is no salvation for this country. Either reform or die, he says. He says, many people oppose me. When I propose reforms in Hinduism, you are opposing me. Or Gandhi's lifetime dedication was eradication of caste differences rather. And RSS major initiative in 60s was to create that oneness in Hindu society, which was caste-ridden, which was ridden with evils like social untouchability, bring all the sadhus and sons together on one platform and declare that there is no place for Ucha or Nicha, higher and lower castes in Hinduism. You know that famous 1967 Udupi Sammelan, where the saints of all the different traditions of the country, including Sikh leadership, Jain leadership, they all came together to proclaim Hindava Sodara Sarve. All Hindus are brothers and sisters. There is no place for any discrimination. Untouchability should go lock, stock and barrel. This was a social mission that RSS has undertaken at that time. In 70s, the RSS fought for preserving democracy in this country when Indira Gandhi had imposed emergency and suppressed fundamental rights. It worked for the restoration of democracy in our country. RSS has always kept itself within the limits of India's constitution. Rather, it strove to achieve the real objective of our real vision of the makers of our constitution. Even today, at 100, when the RSS decided to chart its future course, it undertook 5 missions. It's called Panch Parivartan. You will be surprised to know about those 5 missions. One was about how to safeguard family system. Today family system is facing its utmost challenge. Wokeism is taking over. Families are breaking. Living together, many other things are happening in the country. So RSS wants family system to be restored and protected. When I say family system, not in any retrograde sense. A family where a woman has equal say or even more say than a man. That kind of a family where every member becomes an instrument in family making and nation building. RSS second mission is about protecting environment. Today, the biggest challenge the whole world is facing That the RSS has undertaken as its next second campaign. Third, RSS is working for Swadeshi, encouraging indigenous industry, indigenous consumption, indigenous lifestyles. Such a beautiful lifestyle we have. We are forgetting. We are going after pizzas. You have such a beautiful Madur Vada. On the way, by the way, we stopped at one place to taste that Madur Vada again. I am very fond of it. That is Swadeshi. Enjoy your own creation, your own talent, your own skill. RSS is working for creating Sauhardra, mean greater social harmony among religions and among castes. That will be the fourth mission. And you will be surprised what is the fifth mission of RSS? It's again Article 51 of the Constitution. Awakening citizens to fundamental duties. Kartavya Bodh. That is the fifth mission that RSS has undertaken at 100. You know, India's constitution has Article 51A, which enumerates 10 fundamental duties of all citizens. It's another matter that when that was introduced, it was introduced in a manner that it is not, it cannot be forcefully imposed on the citizens. It is non-punishable. If you don't do those duties, nobody can punish you. Whereas there are fundamental rights. Any right you violate, you can go to jail. But if you don't follow your fundamental duties, nobody will ask you. But the RSS says no. Just as fundamental rights are implementable, enforceable, fundamental duties also should be enforceable. Whether government does or doesn't do it, let society understand what are my duties and work towards fulfilling these duties. This is the new mission of RSS. And let me tell you, let me end you by saying, this is RSS Hindutva. I am sure this vision, this agenda, providing a platform for all good, nation-loving people and motivating them towards not any specific ideology. If you don't follow my ideology, you are a outcast, you are an anti-national. No. To the extent possible, come, join, let us do it together. That is the RSS approach in all its journey of last 100 years. Let me just mention in the end, we never looked at anybody as our enemy. We don't have any enemies. You know, in RSS, we jocularly say, those who come to RSS now, those who are in RSS now are today's Swayam Sevaks. Those who don't come are tomorrow's Swayam Sevaks. We are not going to leave you. We will catch hold of you at some point. Because after all, this is not my own any interest, my own mission. So the whole mission is to bring entire society closer to this thought process. We never had any enemy, nor do we have any enemy even today. Many may think that RSS is their enemy. They may think. We have seen many big people. I told you about J. Prakash Narayan, who said I should crush RSS. I told you about Nehru. Indira Gandhi used to be a great, she had great reservations about RSS. But when the second RSS chief, Golwalkar Guruji, passed away, the only RSS leader to get a parliament resolution for condolences was Guruji Golwalkar. And that resolution was championed by none other than Madam Indira Gandhi as Prime Minister. Because we never looked at Indira Gandhi as our enemy. Maybe Indira Gandhi had seen us for some time as her enemy. For us, there is no enemy. With that very positive attitude, RSS has been working, keeping itself always contemporaneous. That is the whole journey of RSS, and that is the whole secret of its rise and growth as the mainstream national thought of our country today. Let me end here, and probably through discussion we can talk more. Thank you and namaskar.
Host moderator for this evening with Mr. RAMMADHAV. And thank you. Welcome to Mysore. Welcome to all the guests this evening. Straight away, let's start with congratulations on RSS completing its 100 years. It's thanks to people like you that it survived for 100 years, and I'm sure it will survive another 100. And my first question to you is, the Congress government in Karnataka is thinking of regulating or even banning RSS activities in public spaces and among its government employees. What do you have to say for it?
Best of luck to them. I mean, I know that it is not the Congress government as a whole. A few leaders have this, probably appears to be as their agenda. And historically, we have seen such situations, historically. But from that experience, I can say this is nothing but politics. You probably have some internal agenda, internal ambition. You have some political ambition. For you, a good whipping boy is RSS. Sometimes to score certain political points, RSS becomes handy for some people as a whipping boy. Although, I know, personally, privately, many of them tell us that, no, sir, you are doing such a great work, but what can we do? We have our politics. So that's why I said, good luck, but let me clarify one thing. First of all, we are not afraid of all these things. Forget. We have seen three big bans. And after every ban, I don't have the record of this statement. I heard from some very renowned people that once when such a proposal came before Indira Gandhi in 1980, Indira Gandhi told the Congress people that, you see, RSS is like a rubber ball. The force that used to hit it at the ground, double the force is go up. It will go up. So don't try to do that with RSS. You will be, risking, its own rise. It will increase much more. So don't do that. So if they understand, let them understand this. Secondly, there are at least 30 different judgments in the last 100 years by different courts. 30. We actually published a book, Courts on RSS, which categorically said that, of course, you cannot ban RSS in the first place. Also, you cannot even stop any government employee from attending in this activity. There is nothing political, nothing against the country in RSS activity. So you cannot impose any restriction on any government employee attending RSS activities. There were judgments after judgments. So let those who think that, they can browbeat RSS for their own political ends, just keep in mind, rest for us, it doesn't really make any difference. If they don't allow us to do our Saka in a given place, we go to some other place. This country is so vast and the hearts of our people are so big. We never had any dearth for our activity. Please let them be clear.
Earlier you said it is difficult to understand the RSS, but RSS is very difficult to understand, but very easily misunderstood. I just want to know, what have we not understood and what it is that we have misunderstood?
Look, misunderstandings are many, of course, as you all know. Probably in this audience also many people would be having a certain opinion about the RSS. But you may probably want to know what's the reason for it. The reason is very interesting. One is, of course, those people like those in your state also who continuously propagate negative things about RSS. That's one reason. RSS has faced this kind of negative propaganda for many, many years right from the beginning. The wrong presentation of its idea of Hinduism, Hindutva and all that. Hindutva is always portrayed as RSS exclusivist ideology. Let me make it clear. What is Hindutva for us? If at all we are now using that word, the only meaning of it is Hinduism in practice. Like if you are practicing the principles of Hinduism, that is Hindutva for you. Living the life like a good Hindu is Hindutva. At least as far as we are concerned, that's the only thing. But all such words have been misrepresented as if we are against somebody, we are against a community, against a religion and all that. So that led to certain misconceptions. But here I am ready to take 10% blame on us also. For two things happened. One is, RSS remained a very introvert organization for many years. In fact, RSS did not have a Prachar Vibhag, a publicity wing, until 1990s. 25, the RSS began its journey. For almost 70 years, it did not have its own publicity department. So people were attacking, but nobody was responding. Mr. Subramanian Swami once said something interesting. He said, you are like a turtle. Turtle, kachua. What is the nature of a turtle? If you throw a stone at a turtle, it won't react. It will simply withdraw its limbs under the shell. It will wait for you to get tired. You will throw 10 stones. It is just stable there. Because you can't hurt her because there's a strong shell around it. Withdraws into the shell. Once you go away, tired of your attacks, then it will again spread its limbs and start crawling. He said, you are like that. You are allowing all these attacks and keeping quiet and not responding. That also led to some kinds of misunderstanding. But over the years, RSS has now opened up. RSS proactively engages with the society. As a result, most of those misconceptions have today vanished. Because RSS also has made itself more accessible, more approachable, more open. So today we are able to address many of those misunderstandings.
You once said that constitutionally we are secular, but culturally we are all Hindu. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Oh, it's very interesting. This whole debate over whether we should call India a secular country within the constitution itself. This debate took place in the Constituent Assembly itself. Many people suggested that we should have the word secular in our preamble. This was in 1949. You know who said that there's no need for it? It was Dr. Ambedkar. Ambedkar's view was that we are anyway naturally secular in this country. This country's ethos is to treat everybody with equal respect. There is never any imposition of any particular faith on the people, nor is there any explicit rejection of any faith in our country. So we are a society which always believed in that principle, which in our own terminology we call as Sarva Dharma Samadar, equal respect for all different faiths. So Ambedkar said, why do you want to specifically introduce the word which will lead to more confusion? In fact, Nehru later says that introducing this word will lead to more confusion. For example, I tell you, Rafale aircraft came last year. We purchased 5 Rafales, most advanced aircraft from France. The first batch of those 5 landed at Chandigarh. The Defense Minister Rajnath Singh ji went to receive them. With him went a pujari. He had 5 lemons in his hands. He put those lemons under the wheels of the Rafale. Now, is it secular or communal? For us, it is a part of our custom. Because we worship everything. We worship a Yuddha Viman also. That is the culture of this country. So that's why Nehru said, don't confuse. Unnecessarily don't bring those words which will create more confusion in the society. We are anyway secular. So RSS is not against that original Indian idea of treating every different viewpoint, religion or viewpoint with same respect. You may not agree with it, but you must respect it. That extent, we are always for that secularism. But when secularism was introduced in our constitution, it was introduced in 1976. What do you mean to say? Between 1950 to 76, India was not secular? 76 constitution may introduce, 2 words were introduced, very interestingly, secularism and socialism. Are we socialist by any stretch of imagination today? In 1991, globalization happened under Narasimha Rao and Manmohan Singh. We gave Tilanjali to socialism. We decided we have to be capitalist and globalist. Still that word socialism is there in constitution. We have no objection, friends. But we are not against the spirit of secularism, which is the very character of this society. But secularism, as is practiced in our country, is more sort of a it's a pseudo version of it, appeasement of a particular religion or a few religions and rejection of the faith of the majority people. That kind of pseudo version of that secularism is what RSS said is not good for our country, because that goes against the very spirit of this country, its ethos.
One of the core systems that I think RSS perpetuates is the idea that we are all one, and reformism of Hinduism. Do you feel RSS has succeeded in eradicating casteism in Hindus? Has it brought Hindus under one umbrella as one? Is my question.
Let me very humbly say that RSS doesn't have any contract for these things. it's your contract, you have to do this. No. What RSS wants to say is, all of us have to do it. The RSS wants to instill that sense that there is no place for caste discrimination in our society, in our dharma. Then how come you categorize some castes as upper castes and some castes as lower castes? I'm not talking in terms of the political classification. That is sometimes required. Probably they categorize castes. But in social behavior, how can somebody a lower caste? How can somebody else be an upper caste? On what basis? So RSS rejects that kind of hierarchical caste system because we believe that it was never the way the caste system or Varna system was created. Now, whether we succeeded in complete eradication of it, I would say not fully. But we have been able to take this idea far deeper into the society today. It can happen in a very organic way because caste is a very sensitive institution. I'll tell you something interesting. Ambedkar ji had that great vision of annihilation of caste. He authored a book also in 1930s. The book title is Annihilation of Caste. He wanted the caste system to completely go. The only difference between him and Gandhi was Gandhi said, no, it has to be reformed so that no caste discrimination exists, but caste can still continue. That was his view. Ambedkar said, no, as long as there is caste, there is no justice for Dalits, so it should go lock, stock and barrel. Both were for removing that discriminatory approach of caste. So after Ambedkar's passing in Maharashtra, some people created an organization called Jati Pati Todak Mandal. Meaning, we are an organization which is committed to destroying caste system. 2 years passed. Jati Pati Todak Mandal became a caste. The others said, यार ये तो जाति पाति तोड़क मंडल वाले हैं, हमारे जात का नहीं है. इनके साथ शादी विवाह नहीं करना. Revolutionary approach has the danger. It has to happen organically. Society has to rise above these things. RSS clear view is the hierarchical caste system has lost its, it's outdated today. It has outlived its utility. That hierarchical caste should go lock, stock and barrel. This is the RSS view. We work towards achieving that. But society always has some different identities. You know, today we talk about caste because it is discriminatory. But we have languages. You know what all happens in the name of languages in your state, my state, everywhere. There also, we can't say that, no, remove languages. No, that is not possible. But you have to create a sense that we have to respect all languages, everybody is equal. So that kind of approach is what RSS takes with regard to the challenge of caste system in our country, but we have to do it together. It's not something that you contract to any one organization or any one body.
Speaking of secularism, it is a common knowledge when you speak to especially minorities and especially Muslims in that, they have an inherent fear of RSS. Now the question is being asked that how would the society react or the government react if, like the RSS, the Muslim community had a group who wore uniforms and did route marches with dandas in their hands? Would it not induce a sense of fear and discomfort? One part of the question. The second part is, I know there is a history of RSS and the Muslim Jamaat-e-Islami. Would you please tell us how it came about? And what is the outreach programs that you have for the minorities in RSS?
To your first question, let me share some interesting facts. In 1970s, Mr. Sanjay Gandhi, I hope you remember, so he had this brilliant idea that, RSS has this daily shakas where they do drill and they do march past and all. We should have Congress shakas. Balasaheb Devras was RSS chief at that time. This question was put to him. Now you see Sanjay Gandhi says Congress should also have shakas. Devras ji said, we welcome it. Most welcome. Do it. Because we know how difficult it is to run a shaka or to do a route march. Ask our people how hard it is to get them to walk together in a line and all that. They tried for 3 months, 4 months. Who has that patience in Congress party? So it never could take off. Trying to imitate RSS. The communists tried to do it in states like Kerala. Just to raise the same issue. If you can do it, why can't we do it? Governments allowed there, they did it. They also had those sticks and other things on their shoulders. They also had a uniform. They also did march past. They could do it for 2 years. Third year, nobody turned up. As long as it is within the realm of rules of the government, within the realm of the constitution, all other activities permitted. Who are we to say nobody else should do it? But let them try. Not easy, sir. To create that kind of a discipline, to create that kind of a training, needs lot of motivation, not just antipathy for RSS. Just because you hate RSS, you want to try to imitate, it's not that easy. Having said it, okay, if somebody wants to do it, do it. And stick, let me tell you, stick we kept as a part of our drill and exercises because we use it in our exercises mostly. And if anybody today comes up and tells me it's a weapon, somebody should laugh at them. Even dogs are not afraid of your sticks anymore. It is no longer a weapon or anything. It is just a stick because we need to have some kind of a physical activity. We use that. In many of our route marches, we don't use sticks these days. Because, you know, for those who do not know RSS has a uniform. There is the shoe, pant, and a typical RSS uniform. Stick is not part of our uniform. If stick is so integral to us, we would have made it a part of our uniform. It was never a part of our uniform. It is not, even today, it's not a part of our uniform. But to make stick into a dangerous thing, who is afraid of? In the age of AK-47s and all sorts of weapons that you find in mohallas and gullies in your old cities and all, stick is a weapon. So that misconception should go. It's a kind of disciplined march we undertake. Anybody can undertake. Yeah, many people undertake morning processions, Prabhat ferries. It's something like that. In Prabhat ferry, the religious bodies do it. They wear some particular dress, walk. Oh, they may not carry stick. Okay? And you know, sometimes they carry those instruments. They are more dangerous than a stick. If they hit it with you with that, hit you with that, it is more dangerous. So it's a very silly argument to say that stick is a weapon and all that. Just a part of our physical activity.
Now, moving beyond RSS, you are one of the rare and few people who's gone from RSS into the BJP at that level. And I know you were in charge of Jammu and Kashmir and you formation of the first government. Can you please tell us how it came about and what is BJP's relationship with RSS now?
Okay, let me first clarify that I am not one of those rare people. There are many. I mean,
the
before
famous
me.
One in recent times. Huh? The famous one in recent times.
No, they were all very famous. Don't forget Vajpayee ji. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Lal Krishna Advani, Deen Dayal Upadhyaya. They all went from... By the way, even Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, he was first an RSS pracharak, then given to the BJP. We call it loaned to BJP. Loan means anytime we can take back. We can demand back. So we are all loaned to BJP. We worked there for some years. Here I must also clarify that last point you said about that relationship. See, the relationship is primarily like a familial relationship, like a family. They are also our people, like, you know, many in the BJP, they are also from RSS background, like from Prime Minister to, you know, President, many of them. So they have a lot of goodwill for us, we have a lot of goodwill for them. Beyond that, there is no other relationship. Then you may ask, then if there is no other relationship, how come you are there? I mean, the RSS man and Pracharak from RSS, how is he there? On a lighter note, I am there because they ask for me. If Mr. Kharge asks for somebody, we will send. Jailna padega. Jailna is not easy. So we go because we have a certain value system to introduce there. We are there for that purpose. That, going to your second question, yes, Jammu and Kashmir, I was made in charge of Jammu and Kashmir. And I think, personally for me, it was a great experience. But more importantly, a good change in the minds of the people of especially Kashmir Valley. Jammu has always been with largely with BJP, Jansangh and all that. But to make people in Kashmir Valley understand the thought process of BJP and RSS, we ran a government for 3.5 years. That government formation, our participating in the governance of that state has helped in convincing people of Kashmir that, the image of RSS as somebody who is out to destroy all Muslims and, they are out to destroy us is totally wrong. They are all, they are good people. That is one of the major achievements of our participation in Kashmir in the government there. So much so that, when we removed that Article 370, there was no much opposition in the state. Some may say because there was army. I've been handling the state for 10-15 years, first in RSS, then in BJP. Army was always there. Despite army, there used to be huge rebellions in the state, huge protests. But when Article 370 was removed, just a whimper here and there, not much protests. And I can tell you the reason. First of all, as I said, they have seen us 5 years from close quarters. Then they understood that these people are not our enemies. Actually, they want the good of the whole country. In fact, Mufti Muhammad Saeed, I'm sorry I'm taking a little longer time. Mufti Muhammad Saeed was the chief minister. He used to tell his people that, you see, maybe we have some fears about RSS, but remember, RSS people love Kashmir. For them, Kashmir is very important. That they won't do anything that goes against the interests of Kashmir. So be assured that they are not enemies of Kashmir. Maybe you may think they are enemies of our Muslims and all. Let us handle it. So we were able to create that goodwill in the minds of the people of Kashmir. That's the reason why when Article 370 was removed, the people of Kashmir was willing to see if it would benefit them. They lived under the rule of Article 370 for maybe 65 years. They wanted to see, without 370, if life could be better. And I can tell you today, they all feel that without 370, life is much better than with 370 in the past. Today, the demand there is, give us our statehood back, which is a legitimate demand. It has to get its statehood back. It will get it. But today, nobody really asks, give me 370 back. Nobody, even in the Kashmir Valley, is asking. Everybody knows. So, in fact, let me close by narrating a very funny incident. When 370 was abrogated, this was 2019 August. As a precautionary measure, some 300 leaders, serving MLAs and past MLAs, some leaders, local leaders, were put under what is called preventive detention. It's not arrest, it's called preventive detention. There is a very good government-owned 5-star hotel. That hotel was emptied and majority of them were put there. They are having better life. So they were put there for 3-4 months. So I happened to go. Many people of those parties came to meet me. So I thought they will be very angry. You arrested my leader and all that. So I said, no, look, this is not arrest. It's just a preventive detention. If things are normal, they will be set free. In fact, they were all set free within 6 months. Everybody was free. So they will be set free. Some of them walked up to me and said, sir, don't leave them. They are the problem in our state. You keep them in, state will be peaceful. I'm not saying they are bad people. Those who are in the jail, they were all also good people. But they were so much of indoctrination and all happened, so the situation has changed. Today, there is a much better appreciation of greater oneness with the country and also greater goodwill about BJP, central government, Modi ji, and even RSS in that state. I think that's a good thing that has happened in the last few years in Kashmir.
You were loaned in 2014. The loan was returned in 2020. The loan was taken again in 2024 elections. What change did you see from the time when you handled Kashmir, when you left in 2019, I think, in 2024 when you went back? What changes did you see? And in Assam, I would like to know how you changed the perspective of BJP in Assam too.
No, in Kashmir, as I said, today there is greater acceptance for BJP. I'm just talking in terms of politics. May not be really very relevant for all of you. But there is greater appreciation, greater support for RSS. In fact, in the 2024 elections, state assembly elections, in 2 constituencies in Kashmir, the BJP lost by a very narrow margin. I mean, in one place it lost by 700 or 800 votes. In another place it secured almost 7,000, 8,000 votes and lost by a margin, but that kind of vote getting itself was a big achievement. So that shows that there is greater acceptance for BJP to make inroads in the valley. BJP is a party for 140 crore Indians. It has to win the hearts of the people. So I see that happening even in Kashmir today. Northeast is another assignment I had, and I think it's one of my most, fulfilling kind of assignments. Starting with, of course, Assam. The BJP could spread its influence far and wide in the entire Northeast today. In fact, in Nagaland, elections were held in 2017 or 18. I don't remember exactly, but elections were held. So we contested in a good number of seats. 20 seats we contested. 100% Christian state. Hardly any Hindus there. So we used to think that deposit bhi nahi milega. You will be surprised. Out of 20 seats we contested, we won 12 seats. And a BJP guy became the deputy chief minister. He continues to be the deputy chief minister in Nagaland today. But the interesting part was, we used to go for campaign. This fellow, one leader, he used to tell people, you see, you all say BJP is anti-Christian. I am a Christian. I am the BJP candidate. And you don't understand BJP. What is BJP? BJP is Bharatiya Jesus Party. He used to say. To win votes. I mean, his way of convincing his people, poor man, I don't blame him. But people trusted in their leadership. So BJP could create that kind of a good leadership in the Northeast. As a result today, people in all the states in Northeast are with BJP. And remember, they are with BJP also means they are with India. Where there is BJP's flag, there is India's flag, bhai. So I would say that, I don't mean to say that, people of Northeast were anti-India before us. No, that's not even my observation. But I'm saying greater, appreciation. So what used to happen in Northeast was, there used to be a sense of distance. Northeasterners used to feel that probably Bangkok is closer, Delhi is far away. And Delhi used to treat them like that. Nobody would visit, nobody would go. But do you know, when Modiji's government came, I was in charge for that region, so I know this. Not a single month used to pass without 4 or 5 central ministers visiting Northeast. So that erased that sense of distance. Sometimes it's called tyranny of distance. The tyranny of distance was removed because you see the minister every second month. Minister is coming, talking to you, telling you a few things. So that change that Modi ji brought has endeared people of Northeast to, of course, to BJP, that's political part, to the very idea of India's oneness much more today. I can say today there is no separatist sentiment in Northeast anymore.
My other question is that since we're talking about 2024 elections, I just remembered Mr. Nadda had said that now BJP is kind of powerful by itself. In a context, of course, but it was played out differently in the media. Do you think it affected the RSS workers during elections and the results reflected that disappointment?
First of all, Naddaji's statement was grossly misunderstood. It was taken out of context. What he was generally saying, he broadly said, was that when we were too young, we needed a lot of support from the RSS. We used to sit on its head, give our support, this support, that support. In spite of its challenges and all, RSS used to give us whatever it can support. But today we have grown into a big organization. We are in a position to manage our affairs. That doesn't mean he never said, no, I don't want RSS. He only said, today we can run our affairs on our own. That is interpreted as though he said, I don't want RSS. No, it's like a family. In a family, when you are studying, when you are rising, you are supported by your parents. Once you reach a position, you earn your money, you don't ask for support from your parents. That doesn't mean you are now discarding your parents. That statement was grossly misunderstood. But you are right. I mean, sometimes things can be misrepresented. Did it have an impact on the RSS cadres? You know, when Gandhiji used to spend 2 months every year in Vartha Ashram. He used to spend 2 months every year in Vartha Ashram. During the busy, very peak moment also, he used to necessarily go there for self-purification or whatever. He had his own commitments. So, those days there used to be a very interesting rule in Vartha Ashram that the newspapers are given in the evening at probably 6 o'clock in the evening. The reason Gandhi used to say that after you finish the day's all the important and useful work you finish, then read your newspaper. You are a newspaper man, don't take me otherwise. So, the RSS, we are not ignorant of the news, but we stay away from newspapers too much. We have our commitment to the cause. There can be different statements coming out here and there. We know that many of them are misrepresentations. We know what Mr. Nadda is and what BJP is. So we don't need a paper to tell us about what we should do to BJP or not. We know what is BJP. So to that question whether it impacted any Swayam Sevaks or anybody, no. It did not, because we don't work for any individual or any particular in a particular seat or a party, a power. Work for a cause. For that cause, whatever needs to be done, that RSS Swayamsevaks always do.
Anyway, you have written numerous books. I'll pick on one. You mentioned about the new world order that's coming in. In that context, where India stands in the new world order, one. Before that, I would like to ask you, you are part of the whole global outreach program that Mr. Modi sent out to all the countries, the multi-party group. I just want to know, what did you all achieve and what was the outcome of those global outreach programs you had after Operation Sindoor?
To your first question about my book, the answer cost 675 rupees, my book. To your first question, yes, one of the major endeavors of Prime Minister Modi after he came to power in 2014 was wider global outreach. As India is rising as an important power in the world, its outreach also has to grow. So with that purpose, he undertook this major engagement exercise with the diaspora, Indian diaspora, but also not limited to diaspora, you must remember. Prime Minister Modi is one leader who engaged with a range of leadership across the world. Wherever he went, he met with Nobel laureates. He met with good doctors. He met with good actors, including Hollywood actors. He tried to connect with the various sections of the society, the country which he was visiting. The idea was that India should be introduced to all as an important rising civilizational power. In that process, I was also involved in a limited way, especially his diaspora engagements. I used to probably coordinate in the initial few years until we put some system in our party. It helped in bringing greater unity in our diaspora community also. I can tell you, when we hosted this first ever diaspora event in New York at a place called Madison Square Garden, there's a big hall. That was the first event. None of us had any experience of how to bring community people together. So we tried, we will attempt it. So I was assigned that responsibility. I went and we gave an appeal to Indian organizations to register who are interested to participate in this. To my horror, 600 organizations registered. Then I realized that in USA also, we are the same Indians. Like how many organizations you will have in Karnataka, all of them have their branches there in America. There was Tulu organization, there was this organization, Uttara Kannada organization, all of them. In fact, my state, Andhra Pradesh, they had caste groups, caste organizations, temple organizations. I mean, so divided. So it was Herculean. You won't believe, to create a body of 10 people who could be the leading, or somebody has to lead it locally. We needed 10 people. To decide about the 10 people, I had to make 3 visits. Because nobody would agree. If you put him, I am walking out. From my region, he should not be there. So it was such a difficult exercise. But I can tell you at the end of the day, thanks to Modiji's personality and his image, everybody got around. We had grand events. It created a greater unity in the community, and community became an active participant in the national or public life of those respective countries. It was a great achievement. But as I said, Prime Minister's engagement went beyond just diaspora. It went into connecting with different cross-sections. So in that also we made some efforts. We tried to connect with political parties, for example, which probably have this approach. Respect for religion, respect for civilizational values, respect for ancestors. There are parties, like mostly these conservative parties in different parts of the world. They have certain beliefs. In fact, they have 5 beliefs: God, religion, family, nation, and patriotism. Nation means national sovereignty and patriotism. 5 beliefs that make the core belief of conservative parties. We don't have any dispute with these ideas. I used to only tell them that in our case, in two issues, you have to use plural. God, you have to use gods. We are not people of one God. We are people of gods. And religion, you have to use religions. We are not people of one religion. We believe in diversity and all that. But otherwise, yes, God, religion, family system, national sovereignty, and patriotism. You should love your country. So those things are certain common features. So we tried to connect with those parties. We became a part of an international union also. So as I said, widespread engagement happened. We engaged with the Vatican. We even engaged with organizations like Muslim World League, the most powerful Muslim non-governmental or non-clerical Muslim organization, civilian Muslim organization in the Arab world. We connected with them, we worked with them, even today we work with them. So that wider outreach that Modi ji initiated has helped in, of course, first of all, dispelling certain misconceptions about us, but secondly, bringing them closer to India and understanding India better.
Anyway, since we're running short of time, I'll just end with a personal question. You started as an electrical engineer, so what short-circuited you to become a political philosopher?
Dekho bhai, everybody makes mistakes.
And the other question is, what is the plan for the next 100 years for the RSS?
Oh, so as I said, RSS next 100 years plan is to continue the effort for creating greater unity in our society. But its immediate plan is those 5 things I mentioned, Pancha Parivartan, 5 transformations it wants to achieve. So RSS is going to focus on them. I will just quickly repeat those 5. One of them will be to strengthen our family system, Kutumba Prabodhan they call it. Second is Paryavaran, climate, environment. Third is Swadeshi, instilling sense of pride in selfhood. Fourth is Sauhardha, social harmony, creating greater harmony in the society. 5 is Kartavya Bodh, motivating people to have social responsibility. Let me take a minute to say something very interesting. In 1945, when United Nations was created, there was this thought that we should now enumerate certain fundamental rights which are applicable to people of all countries, irrespective of the form of the government. It may be a monarchy, it may be a democracy, it may be a dictatorship, but certain fundamental rights should be ensured for every citizen. So there was that United Nations Human Rights Commission was being formed out of that. A letter was sent to 50 important leaders in the world, seeking their suggestions about what all rights should be incorporated as fundamental rights. One letter came to Jawaharlal Nehru. Nehru replied that, you see, I'm too busy. I have become the Prime Minister. He became Prime Minister in 1946. So I'm busy with my government work. So I don't have time to write reply and all that. I have one fellow in my country who has a lot of time. I will forward it to him. Karke, he forwards that letter to Gandhiji. Not that Gandhiji was sitting idle. Gandhiji was also busy with Nokhali, Bihar, communal rights. He was traveling. But Gandhiji was one man who had time for every good thing. So Gandhiji, while traveling in a train, sends a reply. It's a very interesting reply. You should read. It's available. Full text is available on the internet. He says, my mother always used to tell me that as a person, you don't have any rights. No, this may sound like a very regressive statement. He says, my mother used to say, you have no rights. You only have certain duties to perform. Then Gandhi explains, that doesn't mean I'm anti-rights. If I perform my duties properly, I will be protecting the rights of others. Look at the approach. I have a right to go home from here and have nice warm food at home. But when you go back home, your cook is not there. He went to watch a movie. Your right is not protected because your cook doesn't understand his duty. This is the relationship Gandhi says. Fulfill your duties, your rights are automatically protected. Now, this was India's approach. Gandhi writes this reply to those makers of Human Rights Commission. They did not take it. They only took that fundamental rights part, fundamental human rights. They enumerated it. Shockingly, Indian Constitution also did not take it. There was debate. But it was decided that now, we got freedom just now. Now, if you start telling people that you have this duty, that duty, people will be unhappy. First, let us give them some rights. They will be happy. So, we give fundamental rights. You know, we introduced duties, fundamental duties chapter only in 1976. And in 1976 also, when we introduced it, we made it in such a way that it is non-enforceable. If you don't follow, you can't be punished. So, now what RSS is doing, we are not dealing with that constitution part. In fact, so much happened during the making of the constitution, so much so that there comes a proposal that in the preamble, we should mention Gandhi. Gandhi ke naam par we became independent. 3-hour discussion happens, 3 hours. And finally, Congress president at that time, I'm forgetting, but no. In 1949, Congress president rises and requests that member who moved that amendment, please drop it. Let's not bring in Gandhi into constitution, because the logic he gives is, tomorrow somebody will stand up and say, you have Gandhi in preamble, but where is Gandhi in the constitution? So much happened. But having said it, with all due respects to our constitution, that duty consciousness is what RSS wants to bring in the society. These are 5 immediate goals of RSS. Larger goal always is creating greater unity in the country.
Thank you, sir, for answering all the questions. Now I think we'll take questions from the audience, if at all you have any.
You are telling 4 to 5 ministers are going to Northeast. We can also add that recently one for Sairang railway connection between New Delhi and Mizoram, one thing, and the Chenab Bridge. These are the 2 things which have made inclusive growth. Point number 1. Number 2, I wanted to ask that when there is misconception about RSS, why don't RSS think of changing its attire or this dress code or something like that?
Oh, actually, RSS, the days when I joined RSS to today, there is a lot of change. But we do certain activities for which whatever uniform is required, that much we are using. RSS has relaxed its dress code so much that today you can attend in RSS functions without uniform also. There is no restriction at all whatsoever. But some important functionaries do wear uniform for some activity, especially the foundation day, that is Vijayadashmi every year. We undertake one march past, in that we use uniform. But otherwise, we generally call it Shubhravesh. Shubhravesh means something decent. You can't come in, shoulderless t-shirt and all. Slightly decent dress pehan ke aa jao. So RSS has full relaxation with respect to uniform. Uniform is limited to a few occasions.
Ganga, I'm a yoga teacher and a motorbiker. So my question to you is, what role do you see for women and young professionals in shaping the next 100 years of RSS?
For RSS, simple thing is come and work with RSS. That's a simple answer. But I see as a bigger role for the nation building. When RSS also wants, whether it is women or professionals or youngsters, when it wants them to join RSS, it's not for the sake of RSS. RSS doesn't want anything. In fact, let me tell you, RSS doesn't have anything. That brings me to that one big question. Up to बहुत secretive है, secretive funding है. Some leaders make those. There's no secret. RSS doesn't own anything. RSS only property is RSS Pracharak. There is nothing else that RSS can claim as its own. Rest everything is society's. It belongs to society. It is for the country. That's the RSS approach. So none of us have any bank accounts. Of Miss RSS individual functionaries, Mohan Bhagwat, he doesn't have any bank account. There can be people, I know, Government of India undertook that big campaign to give everybody a bank account. So for the sake of passport, maybe a nominal thing, there won't be any bank balance, I can assure you. So we have nothing for us. We don't want anything for us. There are buildings. They are run by trusts, which are manned by good people. Some of them are RSS functionaries. Some of them are not RSS functionaries. In fact, anytime they can say, get out. We all have to get out from there. They won't say that. I'm saying they are also good RSS people. But I'm saying RSS doesn't want anything for itself. But yes, RSS wants greater participation of women especially in nation building. We need more and more women to come forward. The special drive that RSS is undertaking is with respect to greater participation of women in all its activities. Sometimes that also leads to a question, then why is no woman in RSS? It's another misconception. RSS physical activity is separate for men and women. It happens anywhere. Do women and men play football together? Do they play cricket together? Or even you have schools that are exclusively for boys and exclusively for girls. It happens. Given a particular activity, you can have separate. That doesn't mean discrimination. But in all other RSS activities, whether it is running schools, RSS runs 200,000 service projects, RSS runs multiple organizations. In all of them, women play an important role. And RSS is encouraging more and more women to come and participate in those activities. To that extent, yes. More women should come forward and join these activities, these organizations. And the number is ever increasing. Nowadays, I see in RSS national meetings, 15% to 20% are women. Those who criticize RSS, you go to their conferences and see. Hardly 10% women sit in their conferences. But today RSS has more people attending their national conferences and all. So that is a constant endeavor. But beyond that also RSS wants women to play greater role in the society and in nation building. We have, unfortunately, very, very underexploited. Exploited is not in wrong sense, but underexploited the potential of our women. Even today, we confine them to certain roles. We have to change that. That's not our culture. Read, we have 10 great women in our culture. Mahasadhvi they called. Sita, Savitri, Draupadi. We have Anasuya. Like that we have 10 characters. They are called Mahasadhvis. Read each one of them. Such strong personalities. One would defy the god of death, fight him tooth and nail. That was Savitri. We never said, what is this, how can you do that? The Draupadi, what a character. When Bhishma Pitamaha was on that Ampasaya, he was waiting for his death. Uttarayan Punyakal ke liye wait kar raha tha. Yudhishthir goes to him to learn Rajadharma. Because Bhishma was a great scholar. Draupadi was passing by. Hearing Yudhishthir requesting Bhishma Pitamaha to teach Rajadharma, Draupadi laughs out loudly. In our culture, women are not supposed to, first of all, laugh in front of men. Sadly, not culture, I'm saying our practice. And especially somebody who is on the deathbed, unke samne loudly laugh kar rahi hai. So Yudhishthir scolds her. Hey, why are you doing this, Draupadi? Bhishma stops her. Bhishma says, no, don't scold her. Her laughter is valid. She is laughing at me because when in a full house, in front of everybody, she was being disrobed I was sitting there. At that time, what happened to my Raj Dharma? Am I qualified to teach you Raj Dharma today? On that pretext, she is laughing. Her laughter is jayaj, valid. Sir, this is our culture. I'm sorry, but how much of us allow women to act in that manner in our families? How much freedom we give to them to have a view? This has to change. So RSS will make efforts in the direction, not in the feminine sense, feminist sense, like jhagda karao. Wife and husband mein jhagda ho jaye. No, not in that sense. But in a sense that we all together form, yin and yang, that Chinese formula, or Ardhanarishwar, that formula, we form one entity. Towards that, RSS is working very hard. RSS has organizations that exclusively work on women issues today. They are working about women issues in office places, in other places. But the idea is that dignity and respect that women should get should be accorded to them. So that is the whole idea. In that, more and more women should come forward.
My question is relating to the political wing or political side of RSS. Jansangh was started as realization that we cannot achieve the purpose unless we have political power or political involvement. In last 100 years, RSS has really survived well and succeeded. But in last 50 years, the growth of BJP as a political organization does not reflect the success of RSS. Take Karnataka, a government which is one of the first BJP government or Jansangh government did not survive, even latest situation. So this dichotomy of success and failure, how do you explain that?
Sir, firstly, has been clear about one thing. That, first of all, it never wanted to become a political party. It wanted its identity to remain non-political. Secondly, it always believed that politics plays only a part of our social life. It should, at least ideally, be only a part of our national life, not everything. It's another matter. Today, politics has become everything in our social life. But the original RSS idea is the original Hindu idea, in which politics always played a limited role. I always say this as an example. The biggest war that happened, if you forget about Mahabharata war and all that, in the known history, the biggest war that happened was Kalinga war, in which it is said that 18 or 20 million people died. Kalinga war happened between Magad and Kalinga empires, that is Bihar and Orissa. Do you see Biharis and Oriyas having any animosity against each other? It won't be there, because their wars were fought by kings, but common societies were driven by other forces. Our temples, our priests, our social structure, they used to run our society. So RSS believes in that model where society is run on itself, on its own strength. Politics plays a limited role. So that's why when Jansangh was created, at that time there were many in RSS, some in RSS at least, who believed that RSS should officially make it a wing, if not officially become a political party itself. Golwalkar Guruji, the chief at that time, was very clear. Number one, RSS, of course, no question of RSS becoming a political entity. Number two, RSS will definitely be happy to encourage its people to take part in political activity through Jansangh basically at that time. But RSS and Jansangh will remain like two rails of a rail track. In a railway track, there will be two rails on which the train runs. If the two rails meet, there will be an accident. If they go apart also, there will be an accident. So they have to remain parallel to each other. They keep running parallel to each other, never to go away, never to come too close also. These days we are becoming too close. There is a disaster possible. So we have to be careful about that also. But we cannot go too far. But that being the principal position of RSS, to your particular concern about what's happening now. Look, politics has its own nature. When these kind of issues come up, what we in RSS, when I'm also in BJP also, so I can only not talk for RSS alone, but the RSS thinking is, okay, there are problems in BJP. You mentioned about Karnataka. There can be similar challenges in other states also. But who has to handle them? RSS or no? There are people who are RSS in BJP also. They should be allowed to handle them. So our belief is those who are in BJP, the leadership, right from Prime Minister Modi to President Nadda to leaders like Mr. Amit Shah, let them be aware of the challenges that they are facing. Let them handle it. Now, there can be situations where they may consult the RSS. RSS will be ready to consult. They're open to consultations. But to run their party, to run it on, as you rightly felt, on the principles that probably RSS stands for, is solely the responsibility of the BJP leadership. RSS is always ready to help them, but the responsibility is with the BJP leadership. Having said it, I can tell you, BJP leadership is capable of handling these issues. There may be temporary challenges. There may be certain occasional, issues that may create this kind of a feeling that, BJP is going astray or politicians are going astray and all that. That I appreciate that sentiment, but it will be taken cognizance by leaders in the party. They will handle it. At least we in RSS have that kind of a trust in the party leadership.
This question is regarding Gen Z. Now we have seen many civil unrest in Sri Lanka, Nepal. Now India is progressing. India is now fourth economy in the world and it's becoming third also. There are many international conspiracies going on. As a responsible citizen of India, we have to, as a family members also, we should educate our Gen Z so that we will not fall trap to those elements. Is there घर घर की अभियान की जरूरत है क्या इसके लिए?
Not dismiss it as something a conspiracy by somebody else. Something. There were situations, there were reasons for youth to be unhappy about their countries. That's why they reacted. So that reaction need not be dismissed as a conspiracy by international conspiracy. These days we very casually use this word deep state. Nobody knows what is deep state, but we all use it. So I would say whether it is Nepal or it is Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, the youth there had their own reasons to be anguished about the situation. They reacted. Yes, the way they reacted, is it right? For example, take the case of Nepal. To go and burn down Singh Darbar, the traditional house of your government, or burn down your parliament, is it required? Maybe their leaders have to be blamed. Those leaders of that movement have to be blamed for not controlling or giving good direction to the people's anguish. So, to your question, whether we should educate people, we should educate our youngsters always to stand up for the right cause. That means they have to take to streets. We should not stop them for right cause. But it has to be democratic. It has to be peaceful. It has to be within the law. We should not create a docile society, docile youngsters. We need active youngsters who will stand up for the rights of people, who will stand up and fight for the good of the country, good of the nation. Such youngsters are needed. In any case, in today's world, let us not think that we can educate our youngsters. They have many, many avenues to be educated. This is a big educator. How we use it is, one of our chiefs, Sudarshan ji, used to say, this is Karna Pisachi. This can spoil you also, but this has so much education. So our youngsters are exposed to so many things. Have faith in them. Yes, try to give them good direction. They should be told that we have to be democratic, rule-abiding, and non-violent. But with those principles, we should always be ready to fight for a good cause, for a cause that is necessary for the country. That kind of youth is what we need in this country. That will be the RSS effort.
Good evening, sir. I'm Bhavani from 8th standard studying in Sainik School. Sir, often nowadays modernization is mistaken for westernization. What are your views about this?
Your view, you are wiser than me actually.
Sir,
So you said modernization should not be mistaken, or westernization should not be mistaken for modernization. I am fully with you. Westernization is something different, modernization is something different. We should all be with modernization a little cautious. In RSS we always say that when it comes to idealism, in RSS we want to be one step ahead of the rest of the society in terms of idealistic living. So you probably wear slightly normal clothes, you slightly normal behavior, you won't be extravagant and all that. One step ahead, not too far ahead. Like, a big sannyasi whom everybody worships, everybody knows I can't follow him. I can't be like him, but I will pay namaskar to him. We don't want to be like that. We want to be just one step ahead so that people will think, okay, I can follow him. I can also reach like that. I can also become like that. But when it comes to modernity, just one step behind. One step behind means don't be too far behind. That people think, yaar, ye to bekar aadmi hai. Aisa bhi nahi hona. Just one step behind. So this is RSS formula. So modernization is welcome to the extent that we have to imbibe good things from the West. Sadly, what happens is, we don't imbibe good things from the West, which is called modernization. We imbibe all the bad things. Like, West is the most rule-abiding society. He lived in America. Many of your family members must be living there. I can give my own example. One day I was coming back with a friend from New York to New Jersey. Raat ko 12 baj gaya, 12 o'clock. This fellow, nobody on the streets. This fellow was slowing down the car every 5 minutes and he is bringing it slow and then picking up. All that drama he was doing. I said, yaar, let's go home quickly. Why are you slowing it down? He said, did you not see? There is that board 40. I mean, there was a road sign that you should go at 40 miles speed. No traffic police. Still he is following that rule. I asked him, yaar, fellow, you come to Delhi. Do you ever follow traffic rule in India? He will never follow. Here, though, he will jump the traffic signal. He will run away from the police constable. That is heroism. Rule abidingness is something that we have to learn from the Western societies. That is modernity. And, learn dignity of individuals. Every individual is respected. Irrespective of what kind of dress you are wearing, what kind of, look you are, you look which way. They don't bother. If you ask them, if they know, they will tell you. Here, we behave in a manner that we are superhumans. We don't learn the dignity of humans, dignity of individual from Western society. There are a few good things, discipline. We should learn from them. But instead, what we learn, how many bars they have, do we have as many bars in India or not? If they have a pub, we should also have a pub. I'm not commenting on whether one should go to pub or not. It is one individual's choice. And if somebody drinks, he is not something I'm saying. And most corrupt people in our country were most religious people, remember. You will see them always in Tirupati putting a part of that corrupt money in the hundi. So there is no connection between what you do. But modernity has to have some limitation. So to that extent, your question is right. You don't have to be Western to be modern. You can be modern in your own way. That modernity is what RSS always welcomes. Modernity in thought is what is important, not modernity externally, what you wear and all that. Do you have that modernity in thought? For example, I talked about women, or I talked about general dignity of humans. Do we have that modernity in us? Or only modernity is only in dress? That we have to really think seriously. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for the evening. Thank you, sir.
So we all Mysoreans, of course, throughout the country, we celebrated Deepavali 3 days back. But I think, we extended it today evening. We all celebrated Deepavali today, not with the crackers, but we celebrated with the wonderful thoughts shared by you. So once again, on behalf of all of us, wonderful evening, sir. As a token of our appreciation from the entire Mysore, represented by all of you, I request Vasudev Bhatt sir to come here and hand over a small memento to both our dignitaries. Thanks a lot, sir. So as we come to the close of this function, once again, I just want to mention what sir told about. This is just the beginning. We always have a comma, not a full stop, because he talked about next 10 years of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and what all functionalities that we'll have to do. The 5 key principles and the functions that you spoke about is not just to be applied with the RSS community, but to every one of us, because we all believe that that can transform the country. With that note, I wish to, go to the concluding part, expressing our heartfelt thanks to all of you who made this possible. First of all, the wonderful guest, RAMMADHAV sir, and of course, VIKRAM Muttanna sir, for being a wonderful host. I think you did a lot of homework, we can understand, and you made him to think about it. So thanks for both of you for enlightening us with your wonderful thoughts. Thanks to, most importantly, Jagannatha Center for Art and Culture, a wonderful auditorium which actually hosted all of us. So we wish to express our heartfelt thanks to them. We have media people who came here and be with us for almost about 2 hours and made a note of many of the things. Of course, you are part of the media, but I still want to express our heartfelt thanks to the media team. And not to forget all of you. So there were many questions pending, but we had to curb it. That clearly shows the interest that we all had to listen to you more and more and more. Hopefully we'll get one more opportunity in future on some other occasion, on some other topic. But with that, we wish to conclude. Sincere thanks to all of you for making this evening one of the most memorable evenings of our life. Thank you so much.